G'day guys, welcome to my Bonza channel. Those who have been following know that I've got a beautiful 16-month-old granddaughter who's called Capri, and today I thought I'd make her a busy board, and I wanted my busy board to be special for her. Today's video is all about showing you guys how to make a unique busy board, a little bit different from a lot of the other ones that are out there. The first thing you need to do is decide on the size. I decided on making mine 700 by 600 mils. And as you can see, I've painted it a beautiful pale pink colour. The actual name of that colour is called Pretty Pale. I have always found it weird how they decide to name their colours, but that's what it is. And I went to Mitre 10 and I picked that colour and I mixed it myself. So I do a bit of that every now and again. Then one of the things that I wanted to put on my busy board or sensory board is I wanted to make some doors. And I decided to go a couple of shades darker and I came up with that colour. So that'll stand out from my pale pink. So I'm going to have like bifold doors which will open up. It'll have like a little lock over it. And if I've got that here, there it is. A little barrel bolt lock on it, and that will be Capri's challenge. Will be to open up that, and then once she does that and she can open the doors, there'll be a lovely picture revealed for her. And that was one of the doors. The second one was a bit of a challenge. I originally bought this little cabinet lock, but I didn't think that these are normally fitted on the inside of the lock, and then the problem with that was it won't sit flush on my busy board, on my sensory board. So what I had to do is I got another bit of timber, and I don't know if you can see it, but I cut out an insert so that my little padlock will fit inside that, and then that will remain flush on my sensory board. So that wasn't all that hard at all. Some of the other things that I will be putting on Capri's sensory board, lovely little set of hooks, nicely coloured, which the wife found. Obviously I need to put a name at the top, and the wife also picked this one up at Toy World. Now with sensory boards, I figured for me, it's important not just the challenge that the child gets from using it, but he or she also has to enjoy it. So there's got to be a lot of sensory type gratification from having their new board. And so I've seen a lot of other boards, they put like little switches and stuff, but nothing happens. They just flick the switch. For Capri, I decided that she should be rewarded for a lot of the things that she does on a sensory board. So she's got this switch, which once it sets up and she flicks it on and off, will actually light up for her. The same as this one. It'll actually light up for her. Then I've decided to include a doorbell. Now, this is an actual doorbell, obviously, but when she pushes on it, I'll have the actual chime unit hidden somewhere in the room so that she will hear a chime. And the doorbell that I chose actually has 8 different chimes. So I'll change the chimes up for her. So every time she pushes a button, following days of course, she'll have a different chime, different reward. I've got a lovely colourful zip, and that's just so she can get the thrill of opening and closing it with the sound that it comes with it. Beautiful gold chain, or gold coloured chain, and I'll be putting little bells on it. I know that Capri loves her little bells, and I'll be staggering them, and they'll be movable as well as some will be stationary. Got one of these little things. Thought she would like that. So I'll have a couple of eye bolts, be one on either side, and the chain will connect to that, and she'll be able to play with the wing nuts on those. There'll also be one of these little security bolts, which I think she'll love working out how it works. May have to show her a couple of times. And then there's also a little bike bell, which I figured she would like. For this one to sit flat on my board, because I won't be able to screw down into it, I figured what I'm going to do is, this is the back plate, so I'll mark the holes from this back plate. I'll drill straight through the board, and then I'll push the bolts up from the bottom of the board into the receptacle on the belt. Unfortunately, the bolts are a little bit short, so I'll probably have to countersink those bolts into the board. Now, before you attempt putting everything on the sensory board, I suggest that you actually get all the stuff you want to put on there first, and then lay it out on your board, move things around until you get it into a position that you're happy with, then take a photo so you've got a record of it. Then you can start taking everything off and start attaching things to your board. Normally when people do these sensory boards, they've got the tools, like they might have an impact driver, or they've got a drill that has the same facility, and they go bang, 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 bang and screw everything in there really quickly. But I realise that a lot of people out there don't have those sort of tools. So I figured I'm going to do my sensory board mainly with a screwdriver. Now, when you try and put little screws into any sort of a board with a screwdriver, it isn't all that easy, especially because it's hard to start putting that screw in so it actually bites into the timber. So the way around that is simple. It's a quick tip for you. What I like to use is just a nail. So I hammer the nail in about 2-3 mils. That gives the screw enough depth to actually grip into the board, and then it's easy just to screw the screw into the board. So there's a quick tip for you. So let's get on with it, shall we? As you can see, I've got my plan in front of me, which is an image of which is like a template of what I'm doing. I've put these aren't actually stuck on yet, it's to give me an idea where to put my first eyeball, and I've measured it, from the top to the eyeball and from the left and right, so they're symmetrically placed. I've put a little pencil mark each position where I'm going to put the screws, and then I'm just going to get my little nail, and it's good because it can go dead centre. Because sometimes when you try and drill it in, the drill sometimes skips a bit. There's no mistake doing it this way. As you can see, I'm not putting it in that much, just enough so that the screw actually bites into the timber. And the last one. And then it's just a matter of screwing it in. As you can see, I'm still using the nails to start the hole. With the zip, I recommend using a small washer. Otherwise, if you just use a screw, once the screw gets to the zip, as you tighten it, it'll grab the zip itself and it will just wrap everything around the screw and spoil it. It looks pretty crappy. So, wash it is a good idea. If it does grab the zip a little bit, just loosen it. Put pressure on the washer so that the washer doesn't spin, and then tighten it again. Zip done. What's next? For the spinner to work, I'm going to have to put a washer under it, and I'm also going to have to drill a hole through the middle of the spinner so that I can screw that to my sensory board. Actually, Capri sensory board. My apologies guys, I didn't realise that the camera had died on me. So I think it finished off with the zip, so I did that. No hitch with that. I really love that, I reckon Capri's gonna like it. The screws that came with this one was a little bit too long and I noticed it was just about to poke through, so I used my screws and luckily enough the cap still fit, and I installed the spinner with a washer under it so it wasn't touching the board, and I've also now done the belt, and as you can see that's working fine. No major hiccups with the belt because the screw provided, I think that was virtually a M3 screw, but they weren't very long. I had to do a little bit bigger hole just to slip the screws in. I made sure I only went about halfway, and that way the screws came through and I was able to screw my, not really mine, Capri belly. That's all working well. Just the light switches and then the doors. I reckon I'll do the light switch next. That should be fairly easy. As you can see, it's got a little key type fitting for it. So basically what you do is you screw your screw in. That would fit in there and it will slip to the top and lock in. That's the middle there. So that's 12.7. There. Let's see how good I am. Change the battery and the battery will go flat. Alright, let's see how this works. So I'll probably need to do it in sections, like I'll do it as far as I think is right, and then if that's not far enough, I can always go a little bit further. As far as distance, it's just a bit over, but it's good enough. So it's not quite tight enough, so a little bit further. Push the Velcro down. Let that take, and then we'll go for the light. Switch number 2. Okay, so it's going to be literally level with that one. Same sort of system. First. Alright, that's in. Next, doorbell. That should be easy. Alright, I had to do a couple of holes through there. That way I'm not going to have to use double-sided tape for this one, because that just clips in and out, so that's all good. That's in. So we've got little gold hinges. I think the sugar candle went off again. That's the problem when you try and do everything yourself and you haven't got producers and whatnot. That's okay, I'm only a small channel. Managed to do that hinge, that's coming alright. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now that that bit's on, we just need to put the latch in so it locks into place. Here we go, so that's done. Put a latch on here. Now we just need to work out how long I want to make this chassis. Quick walk. So remember that's going to come down because of gravity. So I reckon if I cut it here, good thing about working for my lieutenant is I look at something and say, oh yeah, that comes handy, and I just spot it. Bonus. Okay, so that goes in there. Put the ring through there. Oops, no, not yet. I've got to put some more little flickies on there. I reckon I'll do a little red. Gold. As it turns out, not only was the chain too long, but it didn't look right the way the eye bolts were positioned. So I'm inverting the eye bolt so that the chain hangs in between rather than on the end. Well, that's it guys, as you can see I think it came out pretty well. Capri looks very colourful up the top there. And as you can jingle jangle these things, these ones will move up and down. I kind of like it. I reckon that's pretty cool. Spinner works. The bell's good. Gonna put some decent photos in there. I've got time for now. I've just got a few stickers in there. So that works well. The key works. That was a bit wet, but there you go. It's got a little line in there. That works okay. I reckon she's going to love this doorbell. And it has 8 tunes, so I'll change them every time she comes over. So that's that one. She can take these off, put them back on. These lights, you may have noticed, man, when I put these lights on, they were blinding. I didn't want to blind Capri. And it took me a while to work out what to do to make it so it wasn't so bright. So what I did is I blacked out this top section, I put a little fox in there. So now that one works fine, it's not as bright. This one, I had to blank out both sides. There's 2 LEDs there. Really, really bright, excruciating, you know. So I blanked them out and I'd use the same colour as I used for the door, so it all blends in. And now that one is pretty good too. So no problems there. She's got a zip. So she can play with that. She's got her little wing nuts on both sides so she can spin them around. And she's got this little 2 flicking thing here. So all in all, I'm more than happy with the way that it turned out. Just a word of warning, if you use this configuration, make sure you tighten these nuts. So you don't want them to be loose that your child will accidentally flick them off and perhaps swallow them. So that's a real choking hazard, so make sure that these are really tight so they won't come off. And that's it guys. Capri will be coming over tonight and I'm going to be taking a video of her first reaction as well as, you know, to see whether or not she comes back to it later on during the day. So I'll be putting that video on separately. So if you want to see how video reacted to her sensory board, you may want to subscribe, because if you don't do that, you won't get notified of future videos. Oh, about notifications. You may not know this, but being subscribed won't notify you. You actually have to click the bell and select all before YouTube sends out notifications. That's it guys, it's Peter from My Bonds channel signing off. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your mates. Can't wait to see you for my next video, which will be a Laughaholics video. I do one of those every week. As always guys, keep well, stay fit, look after yourself. Peter from My Bonds channel signing off. Catch you later, guys.